Woo! I am pumped up. I am pumped up. That's right. The horror movie Avengers have returned again for another episode of Versus, baby. That's right. Oh, shit. Killer Clowns are here. That's right. Welcome, Killer Clown. Oh, yeah. We got Mr. Tony of the Dead in the house. DJ Anubis. Owen from the Action Elite. That's right. Nicholas, director of Genevieve. That's right. We have the Prestige is here. That's right. Aaron, Cult of Cinema, and Eric, the Asian movie enthusiast. I invite them on the panel because they make me smarter. And we have martial arts action stunt man and, most importantly, huge horror fan, Alex Chung. How you doing, my friend? Welcome back on the channel, man. Oh yeah, oh yeah. And now that you're here, that's it. We have kidnapped you, and you will be here every week till October's over. I don't know if you knew this. It's in the contract. I contacted your manager. But yeah, man, thanks for hanging out with us and talking horror today. Let's see who we got here in the house. Movie Dojo Army showing up. Jake Hall, what's going on? Eric Plantier, the sexy sumo. He says, O'Doyle rules. Sexy sumo right there. All right. Omegon32, why am I a mod? I made you a mod, my friend, so you can have the power. I'm granting you power, sir. John Martinez in the house. Robert, oh shit. Norin Red. Heather Love saying what's up, Movie Dojo Army, and the panels that we have here. Panel guests. Kevin Lambert in the house. Landon Null. Oh shit. We got everybody trickling in to talk horror and celebrate slasherdom. That's right. I created a new word. I patented it. It's copyright. So we're going to talk two slasher icons going head to head today in remake form. Which movie did it better is the discussion of the day. And you know how Versus works. You know, Alex, you watched Versus before, correct?
I have watched a few to prepare myself.
Right, to prepare yourself. So we'll talk about Halloween first, good and bad. Then we'll talk about Friday the 13th, good and bad. And then we will vote at the end. And only one shall win and remain number one for the week. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it here. I will go first. Halloween came out 2007, directed by everyone's favorite horror movie director, Rob Zombie. That's right. John Carpenter is also a huge fan of this man as well. You know, here's the thing. I don't hate the movie. There's actually some things I do like about it. Some of the casting really good, actually. I like Malcolm McDowell as Loomis. I like Brad Dourif as Sheriff Brackett. You know, and Tyler Mane, he's a fucking beast as Myers. I enjoy him as well. But you know, when I rewatched it recently, I forgot how many cameos were in this movie. It's insane. It is so insane, the cameos, man. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Dee Wallace, Sid Haig, Sybil Danning, Ken Foree. I mean, it just keeps going. Bill Moseley, Danny Trejo, Udo Kier, Clint Howard. I mean, this is like insane. And of course, you know, Danielle Harris is also fun. She's having fun being in the movie as well. But you know, this is my take. We got a huge panel of awesome guests here. I don't want to talk too long. Give these guys a chance to speaketh. But here's the thing. I'm torn with this movie. I don't hate it, but I'm torn with it. And the reason why I'm torn with it is the first time I watched it, I wanted something different. So when we get the whole backstory of Myers, you know, young Myers, you know, killing his whole family, showing how much of a douchebag, you know, his stepfather William Forsythe is, and I'm a big William Forsythe fan, so he was perfectly casted as the worst stepdad ever here. But you know, I was like, okay, I wasn't expecting this, so all right, this is interesting. I don't know if I like it or not, but it's interesting trying to create a backstory for the iconic slasher. So I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. And to be honest, when the movie got from the middle of his escape towards the end of the movie, when it followed almost beat for beat, just like the original, I got bored. The movie kind of lost me. And this is the shit I like. I want to see badass Tyler Mane, wreck shop, kill motherfuckers. hunt people down and do his thing, but I just kind of just check out because I'm like, okay, I might also just watch the original now. So I'm very torn. So now that was the first time I watched it. So I recently watched it. This is 5 billion years later now, and I recently just rewatched it yesterday, and I kind of still feel the same way. To be honest, I feel the same way about the movie, except this time I don't really appreciate that much him trying to create a backstory. At first, I was like, "This is interesting. Let's see what happens." But now when I watch it, now I'm just like, well, now you just took out kind of like you're kind of killing the mythos of the character. I feel like the whole fear aspect is you don't know why he's evil. Evil's just evil. You know what I mean? Like that's what was cool and scary and creepy about the original was that there was no reason why Little Myers just went ape shit and killed, his sister and stuff like that because he's evil. You have that iconic speech from Donald Pleasance explaining the eval. And that is, I feel, is the heart of Halloween and why the original works so well. But in this movie, we're trying to explain it now. I feel like, Rob, you know what this feels like to me? This feels like Alien Covenant. All right. Ridley Scott's trying to do something different, but then the studio comes in and goes, no, no, no. We got to bring in the fans. You got to make it just like the old Aliens. You got to shoot the alien out of the chute that, from the Aliens, the Sigourney Weaver movie. We got to keep it. And I feel like, this is what I feel like with this movie. I don't know if there was studio interference or not, but I feel like the second half is just, we've been here before. The main actress that played Laurie Strode, she's very good at screaming. Good job. She screams a lot. And at the end of the movie, when she shoots Myers in the face after he tackles her, now she should have been dead or knocked out. Come on now, big ass Tyler Mane tackling her out of the house, and I mean, come on, she should have been injured or something, but she was fine. But after she shoots him in the face, she freaks out and screams a lot, and then it cuts straight to the credits. I kind of laughed. I was kind of laughing at this. I was like, pfft. So I don't know. I know there's a lot of fans. There's a lot of fans for this movie, and that's great, to each his own. But I don't. I like parts of it. I don't hate it as much as I hate the remake of The Fog, which is fucking atrocious. All right, DJ Anubis.
Well, you hit on a lot of points. The cast in this is amazing. He didn't even spare no cents on anyone in there. So it's like everyone and everyone's in this film. But, Rob Zombie's like hit or miss with me with movies. So this to me was one of his hits as far as like enjoyability. Unlike you, I actually like the backstory. I like the fact that he dug deep into it, and some people will hate it, but the whole Michael being bullied and then the house problems with his domestic issues with his parents and all that stuff. I thought that was a nice little angle to have. Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot of complaints for me. I mean, it's not breaking any new ground, but then again, I didn't really expect it with this film. So, yeah, there's not much more I can add to that. It's just, I thought it was well acted. Rob doesn't hold back with his acting. He's a very good director when he wants to be, but some films make it, some don't. I thought this was okay.
All right, copy that. And I'm sure we can all agree that this is a lot better than the second one.
Yeah.
Even though Halloween 2 has a cult fan base building.
Kevin, I saw Kevin Lambert. He said he liked it.
Halloween 2?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right, that's interesting. All right, to each his own. Alex Chung.
Well, I'm gonna echo everyone with my favorite thing about this movie is the cast. For me, like a big part of the enjoyment is just seeing all those familiar faces. Otherwise, I feel like it would have felt a bit flat. And yeah, you guys have already hit on a lot of points that I was thinking and feeling, like the first half versus the second half, because it really is like two different movies slapped together. I mean, fundamentally, I think a lot of us agree that giving Michael Myers a backstory is just fundamentally not a great idea. But I think for me, once I got over the hurdle of that and just accepted that, okay, we're going to tell this story, so let's just see how the execution is. Yeah, it's not really breaking new ground. But I actually kind of, upon reflecting on this movie, appreciate in a weird way that they humanized Michael Myers, at least at some point in his life. Like instead of like he's always been this soulless thing. At one point he was like you and me. So just kind of thinking about that fall and how like you can get from that extreme to that extreme was a bit interesting for me once I kind of geared my mentality towards accepting that. But of course I always prefer the mystery. The second half actually, I thought the second half was pretty interesting until the final chase. And I've noticed, I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but for me, like I do really like a lot of Rob Zombie's movies, but he often loses me in the third act. Like when it becomes just the chase and it's just we're going through the motions, it's hard for me to stay interested. I don't know, like the tension isn't there for me, or maybe it's just me, but often he starts to lose me towards the end, which is really a shame because that's kind of the last impression I have when I finish a movie, even though I have good memories of the first two acts. But overall, like I did enjoy it again because of the cast and also allowing myself to dive into the backstory and go along this ride, and then seeing how different the remake aspect is. Like I like how Laurie Strode is a lot more fun instead of just like I got to study. Like she seems to have a little more life to her. I thought she was pretty good.
All right, copy that. This is an interesting comment. I have to highlight this. Omegon likes both Rob Zombie movies versions better than 2018, which is a disappointment. Look at that. Check that out. That's interesting. All right. Cult of Cinema.
Me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm a little bit
No, the guy next to you.
than everybody, than some people with this one. So the first time I saw this movie, I'm not gonna lie, didn't like it.
Okay.
Basically because the whole concept behind Halloween originally and behind the whole series is he's the boogeyman. He's evil. We don't know why. That's literally what makes him scary. There's nothing scary but a whiny little brat with horrible parents.
Right.
That's not scary. That's the opposite of being scary. It's the opposite of doing what Halloween does. And I can understand doing your own thing. Fantastic. Go out there, do your own thing, be a rock star. But Rob Zombie needs a filter. And this is a problem that he has on a lot of his films. I feel that he hires the same people all the time. There's an amazing cast in this film. And you'll notice that this amazing cast is in almost every one of his films because he hires the same people. He's got a troupe of people, which is kind of cool, fantastic. Some of them are miscast. I really, really think that I love Scout Taylor Compton. She is amazing in like so many movies. I liked her in The Runaways, for instance. That was really good. I thought she was okay in this, but she wasn't given a lot to work with. But one of the biggest crimes of this film that I got to mention, and I'm surprised nobody's mentioned this, is Rob Zombie started as a musician. He started, with White Zombie, and then he did his own solo stuff. And for a guy that does music, the score of this is bad. It's really bad. The first time you hear the Halloween theme song, we don't hear it very often, but the first time you hear it is when little Mikey is running outside of the school because he's upset. What a horrible placing for the Halloween theme song.
Completely
Then
agree.
there's that Love Hurts thing, which is hilarious, by the way. I think it's meant to be like give you an emotional feel or something like that. It doesn't. It's funny as hell. You got him like on the steps while his mom's stripping to Love Hurts. Like I love seeing Daniel Roebuck and stuff. I like seeing Sybil Danning doing things of mercilessly like short. The one thing I had to do when I came to watch both these films was which version was I gonna choose, because both of these films have separate versions. So I decided, well, it's the director's vision. Let's go with the director's cut of each of these films. And there is some very seriously messed up stuff in the director's cut of Rob Zombie's Halloween, including a very unnecessary assault that is his reason for getting out. Like in the theatrical cut, if you've only seen the theatrical cut, guys, amazing. What great escape. If you've seen the director's cut, oh my God, what horrific thing. So basically, for those that haven't seen it, the really slimy guard calls up his friend because a new inmate has been brought into the asylum, and they bring her into Michael Myers' room and they assault her. and this turns out to be the reason for his escape. Not only is it done and it's tasteless, but it goes on far too long. It makes no sense, and it's like it's there just to be gratuitous, or like, look how edgy I am. Oh, cool, Rob. You know, you're past 12 now. You can get over the whole like, look how edgy and emo I am thing. Now, this being said, I like Rob Zombie. I love Lords of Salem. I think that's a fantastic film. I thought he did a great job with that movie. It was very different from his other films. He took some chances. When he takes chances, when he does things that are different, and like Lords of Salem, he does some great stuff. When he does things like 31, it's crap. But there are things that I did like about the film. So I told you a lot of things I didn't like. I liked overall this. Surprisingly, I loved Malcolm McDowell as Dr. Loomis. I thought he did a great job. He really, like, he had to come into like some big shoes there, made it his own, did his own Malcolm McDowell type of thing. This will get wasted, by the way, in Halloween 2, because what the hell? But fantastic in Halloween 1. He's Loomis in Halloween 1. He's not in Halloween 2. And we get, of course, Scout. I like Scout. I don't think she had a lot to do. I like Scout. I like Tyler Mane. I do think that he was playing Jason more than he was playing Michael Myers, though. I think that Rob Zombie was probably chosen for the wrong franchise. Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, perfectly made for Rob Zombie. Maybe even a Friday 13th, made for Rob Zombie. Halloween, it's a psychological thriller, like early slasher, came up in the ranks, not a Rob Zombie film. So, yeah, that's my thoughts.
All right, copy that. Good point about the soundtrack, too, Aaron. That was a good point. It just seemed kind of like, oh, it's time to throw in the theme song now for no reason. Let's throw it in there. Whatchamacallit, since you just recently watched the unrated version, I heard, Aaron, that really the only good thing about the unrated version was they actually showed Loomis, his character, as being a little bit more caring in that version than the first one.
No, I watched them both.
Is that true?
Yeah, I watched them both, but I'm going on the unrated version because it's the...
Yeah, no, I was just curious if that was true or not, because that's what some people were saying. There was at least that in the unrated.
Yeah, there's more scenes with with Loomis and the kid. Not that the kid's a great actor, but there's more scenes there.
All right, copy that. Owen.
Yeah. Well, the original Halloween is pretty much top 5 of all time for me. I absolutely love it. So whenever I heard that they were doing a remake of it, I thought it was sacrilege. And I was like, how dare you? You won't do better than John Carpenter, so why are you trying? But then I saw it, and I think I was right. Rob Zombie has this obsession with making all of his characters white trash. And like all they do is just swear constantly. Like everybody and everything is ugly. Like the world is ugly. So therefore, Michael Myers doesn't really stand out as particularly evil because everybody is like, just a piece of shit in these movies. Yeah, particularly Richie here from Out for Justice. Which he will always be. But
that's a good one.
but yeah, I mean, I've although there's some interesting ideas, I hate demystifying a character like Michael Myers. I don't need to know. Like Aaron said, that's the whole interesting thing of Michael Myers is that he's evil, and the fact that like he's making his family white trash is sort of like, oh well, we're trying to justify why he's evil. And I was like, just because your family's trash doesn't make it okay for you to become a serial killer. But the fact was, in the original, his family was nice, and it was more shocking because he was this evil for no reason, and he came out of nowhere, and that was more shocking. There's nothing shocking or scary about this movie. It's just sort of one unpleasant thing after another. Like I said, the acting in this movie is probably better than the original. I mean, yeah, I'll say that the acting in the original isn't the greatest in some parts, but this isn't. I mean, like after I've watched this movie, I need to have a bath afterwards because you just feel unclean. It's just, yeah. So, like I said, it has its moments. I like Malcolm McDowell as Loomis. I thought he was well cast. There are a few interesting, like Danny Trejo and some of the cameos, like Ken Foree as well. But generally, I do not like this. It's not a movie I watch that often. The unrated cut particularly is awful. There's no need for a rape scene in this movie. I was like, why is that in this movie? It adds nothing to it. So yeah, Rob Zombie's just too busy being obsessed with the unpleasant things rather than giving us people to care about. So there you go.
All right. And I also want to throw this in. Come on now. Come on. Sherry Moon zombie stripping and all the brothers around there are bored as fuck. That's not realistic.
Come on.
Come
Took my
on.
point, Samurai. That was
Everybody's
my
like
point.
this. Everybody's like this. When Sherry Moon zombie stripping, I'm like, come on. This is fake. I'm just kidding. Nicholas, go ahead, brother.
Honestly, I thought the first half of the movie was the most interesting stuff because it was doing something different. I think this is one of the biggest movies that, like, if you take the Halloween name off of it, I thought it would have been a pretty good movie, but because it had such an attachment to Halloween and that's what it's called, Michael Myers' name and everything, it kind of ruins it a little bit, you know, like we were all saying, the mystique of the character and everything. I like this idea of like dissecting like a psychopath kid and seeing like his evolution through time, but the fact that it's Michael Myers, you know, it gets rid of the mystique completely. And also, Rob doesn't shoot Michael Myers like Michael Myers in this movie. He doesn't use shadows or anything like that. You're always following him. I feel like you're following him more than you are Laurie most of the time, which is not Michael Myers like, you know. He usually comes out of the shadows or he pops up here and there while you're watching the scenes. And yeah, and after like he breaks out of the mental asylum or whatever, you follow him to his house, you see him get the mask and everything. That's part of the thing that was now look at the original, right? He escapes. Laurie goes to the house, which it's also in this one. But by that point in this movie, you already seen Michael, you already know he's in the house. Now, in the original, she goes to the house and then you see his head pop up, like a shadow of his head pop up out of the corner of the screen, which is way more interesting. You're like, okay, so he's here. You know, we don't even see him get the mask. There's a lot more to think about in the original that Rob just shows you in this one, which is not Myers.
All right, copy that. Oh, DJ Anubis, thank you, brother, for continuing to be a certified badass, my friend. That's right. All right. Let's go to interesting points, Nicholas, definitely. Tony, Halloween, brother.
This is probably the first time I watched it in a few years, and I remember liking it a lot. Especially at the beginning, I thought, oh, that's interesting, you know, looking at how he was and growing up. It's kind of weird to see Jenny naked in bed because his sister was the girl, Jenny from Forrest Gump, if anybody didn't know that. It was kind of weird, but I liked her boyfriend. I thought he was I felt bad. He's the only one I kind of feel bad that died in this movie. Anyway, you know, it's like, sorry, little dude. And then like he gets fucking pulverized. I too also think that if this was just a separate movie where growing up looking at this, him growing up, you know, because like even when what's his name comes into the bathroom when he's getting picked on, he's like, fuck you. And it's like, I'm thinking, what are you cursing at him for? He's on your side. You know, he knows these punks are after him. And he's like, I said, fuck you. And it's like, okay, this kid's obviously out there. Let's have the story go on him. And I remember seeing in the theater when he beat that kid to death with the tree branch, the way that kid dies and just slowly stops is very eerie. Even watching it now, that part, I was like, that goes right through me. It's like so creepy, you know. Again, I agree with the soundtrack. It's a little out of place, that thing, and I can't stand Love Hurts anymore. Like it was so much, and Fear the Reaper. I don't want to hear it anymore. You know, I like what's his name for the cast of Myers, but Robert Mukes was also in the casting for it. So I would have liked to see what Robert Mukes was doing because he's a really huge guy as well. Reading about this, I also saw that Danielle Harris only got casted because she agreed to show nudity, and Rob Zombie didn't want anybody from the original movies in this, so that's why she got in this.
Wow.
and she agreed. I'm okay with that. You know,
I
I'm
hope she
okay.
got paid extra.
I hope she did. What else was I gonna say? Like I read some things about it. The whole oh Christ, I can't remember now. The rape scene, that I did see that as well. I think you didn't need it because I already hated that guard, you know, to begin with, and I think it just shows like how much of a creepy asshole he is, and you didn't really need it. I think Danny Trejo. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Danny Trejo. They left his part in with him drowning in that because my Rob wanted to show how even after him caring for him all that time, he doesn't care. Like there's no remorse, there's no friendship or anything. So that was
good to you.
yeah. It went on for too long. I was good to you, Mikey. I was good to you, Mikey. You know, it's like he don't care. What'd you say? You know, I think what's her name? Tyler Scout, whatever her name is.
Taylor Compton.
Yeah, her. I think she did a good job. She was very likable, but all she did was scream to me, like
Yes.
not to me, but like in this movie, that's all I felt like. She just screamed the whole time. I like the group of friends. I also do like how they kept some of the originals in this, like them yelling to him, like, you know, being because there's a guy watching him perverted. But what dumbfounds me in all these movies is like he's walking in daylight, dressed like this, not that far behind her. Nobody sees him. Like it's not even the shadows. He's just like, you know, walking up and everything. It's like I don't know. I do like some of the casting. I forgot Sid Haig was in this, so I got sad. I was like, oh, there he is, you know. But he had a great part. But yeah, I watching it this time though, I gotta be honest. I was like, I don't care if I ever see this again. I remember it being better, and I don't like little Michael Myers. You know, I never liked that kid. I don't know. I think on his own it would have been fine, but I don't know. I just then later on when they're talking to him and everything's all fine, he's like, "Oh, you mean about my costume and stuff?" It's like I don't know. I found him annoying, and my biggest pet peeve in this is the two kids that they had, Tommy and what's her name? I can't stand them. I can't stand Tommy Jarvis in this movie. I think he's the worst thing in the movie.
All right.
He's the most annoying thing. Samurai, you know how we are with kids in
yeah.
movies.
I know.
He drove me crazy.
Copy that. All right. Why does this shot make me laugh? I don't know why. Lori, you got to get off the fucking phone. I need to get to work. You gonna take me to work? Come on.
Hey, don't forget
I'm late.
pepperoni.
I don't know why that shot makes me laugh for some reason. Eric.
Yes. Let's just say you had to include a backstory of Michael Myers. And I thought about this. And what I would have done is I actually would have doubled down on what Carpenter did in the first film. So the opening half hour, I would have focused on kind of like I would have targeted parents in this film, like the existential fear of parenthood. So the opening half hour, you basically set up the idealistic family unit. You have both parents they're on their game in terms of like bringing in the money. They're successful. They're good parents. The older sister is a loving sister. Maybe she gets a scholarship to a nice college, and you get little Mikey. You can do various things with him, but maybe you just portray him as a normal kid. You know what I mean? And you have that for the opening half hour, and maybe people in the seats are looking around like there's some other killer in this film or something. And then, you drop it where Michael kills his sister. You have to make it brutal. Brutally kills his sister for no freaking reason. And that's the existential fear of parenthood. You do everything right, and it doesn't even freaking matter. Your son kills your daughter for no reason. So I would have really laid that on strong. And then after that, you can have the typical Halloween stuff. But I think, Zombie basically gives us this psychology 101 basic explanation for it, which is not really, it's not, Michael Myers deserves more than that. I'll just say that much. And yeah, everybody's bringing up the obnoxious nature of zombies films. I mean, the scene that really grates on my nerves outside of the opening scene is the first scene. Scout Taylor Compton shows up and she fingers the bagel in front of her parents. I mean, I don't know what daughter does this with their parents in the room, but that just, and that's the first time she shows up in the film. And I'm just like, man, like, where's Mike? Hey, Mike, are you in the back there? Can you take this girl out? So yeah, that's a problem. And I actually do think Rob Zombie is actually a pretty good director in terms of the way his films look. And so he does some good stuff. The problem is that he has writing credits, and somebody needs to take those away from him. I think if they took that writing credits away from him, his films would get exponentially better for the most part overall. And Sherry Moon Zombie, hey, Rob, you want to cast your lady in these movies? You cast her as a stripper, she should get naked. Sorry, Rob. You cast her as a stripper, she should get naked. That's all I'm saying about that. And then, like Aaron said, the Halloween, definitely fantastic point on the Halloween theme. I have that in my notes. First time it shows up, I'm like, wow, okay, so we're playing that theme now of all times. And then, it almost feels like two like completely different films like fighting each other. Like you have this new backstory film and then like a film that mimics the older film together at the same time. But I will say this. Every time I watch this film, I've seen it probably 3 or 4 times now. It annoys me a little bit less each time I see it just because I'm used to it. I'm like, okay, all the characters are going to be freaking obnoxious. I know this now. And the death scenes, I think, are pretty good in this. I like the death scenes in this. And I do kind of like the finale in terms of it goes on for like 20 minutes at least. It's a nice lengthy finale. There's some good violence in the film. And I don't know. Every time I see it, I'm like, I like it actually a tiny bit more just because my standards keep lowering for it. So... But it's not something to really highly recommend.
Okay, copy that. We got a comment here. DJ Anubis is hot. We're gonna point that out there. Shout out to shout out to DJ Neko. Shout out to Neko. All right. Oh, I got a super chat. Hold on, man. This thing is.
I'm Joe Grizzly.
I know, man. Kid Bory.
He's great.
I ran into him at a convention. Very nice guy. I got my picture with him. That was way back in the day. Super chat from Bo. Thank you, my friend. Let's see. Were you just throwing a bone to the 24 people that liked Rob Zombie's Halloween? The Unholy was a better film. Friday the 13th remake blows it away. Okay. Has anyone seen The Unholy? That is one of the worst horror films I've seen this year.
Ooh,
it is
not.
terrible. The Unholy.
Which one?
The Unholy is terrible. It is one of the worst horror movies I've ever seen this year, man. Jeffrey
worse
Dean
than
Morgan,
Malignant?
huh? It's a different kind of bad. It's a different kind of bad. But Jeffrey Dean Morgan, if you ever want to see him phone in a performance and be bored and not care, watch The Unholy. All right, let's go ahead and go to Friday the 13th, 2009. Now, this is my shit. Everybody knows Jason's my boy. Everybody knows. But let's bring it down a little bit here. So directed, this came out 2 years after Halloween. Directed by Marcus Nispel, who is also responsible for resurrecting Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which was a hit when that came back out, played by Andrew Briniarski as Leatherface. Starring Who Gives a Shit? No one gives a fuck about anybody in this movie. I do love Derek Mears, though. Derek Mears is a beast, and I love him as Jason. Everybody else don't really give a shit. I know everyone probably watches this movie because they love, Sam Winchester from Supernatural. He's in here. So if you want to make a fan girl or fanboy type movie, just imagine Sam Winchester from Supernatural at some point running into Jason Voorhees, and he has to take him out. There you go. You can have some fun with that. But yeah, it doesn't matter who's in this movie. But let's go ahead and talk about it here. So, when I first saw this film, my reaction was, I liked it. It was okay. I didn't love it. But it's like I liked parts of it, but I felt underwhelmed at the same time. And then that all changed after I got done watching Wes Craven's, not Wes Craven's, but Nightmare on Elm Street remake. After I watched that shit where I almost fell asleep in the opening credits. Are you fucking kidding me? This is another video. We can rant about New Nightmare, whatever the fuck. Nightmare on Elm Street remake. I felt sorry for Jackie in that movie. Yes, that movie introduced some interesting new concepts, but I was falling fucking asleep. Okay, so yeah. After there you go, Freddy's down there. After watching the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, several years later, I decided to revisit Friday the 13th, the Killer Cut, and I actually liked it a lot more, you know. For a movie that basically takes elements from the first 3 films and displays that in this movie, that was different. I wasn't expecting that at all. And if you think about it, that could have been a fucking disaster. You know, let's take 3 movies and go, there you go. It could be horrible. It can be a horrible travesty, right? I thought it was a fun movie, man. I was entertained with it. You know, I rewatched it recently for today's Versus. I enjoy the kills. I love the way Derek looks as Jason in here. And Kane Hodder gave Derek his blessing, by the way. That's right. Unlike the guy who played Jason in Freddy versus Jason, that's another video that we can talk about another time, even though I'm a fan of that movie. But yeah, Kane was kind of pissed off about that. But Kane and Derek are actually buddies, so he enjoyed his performance in this movie. And Sean Cunningham is actually a part of this film as well. He is not ashamed of it, unlike John Carpenter is with Halloween. All right. So what did I like about the movie? I enjoyed seeing mobile, athletic Jason again. Because as much fun as I have with ghoulish zombie Jason, which is fun because that's my boy, fast running Jason, you're fucked. You're it's over. You're over. It's game over, man. And I enjoyed seeing him move quickly. I enjoyed his underground lair. I thought that was fun. And you got to remember, at this point, he's still man. He's not ghoulish zombie yet, supernatural creature yet. So it's kind of like, hey, he's got his own little alarm system. The lights come on outside. He's got the wires that ring the bells. I like the underground lair. I like Jason, using tools. I mean, come on. Jason used a motherfucking bow and arrow. Jason is Rambo in this movie. Jason is Rambo and Batman in this movie, okay? Come on. I mean, I loved it. I enjoyed mobile Jason because that would scare the shit out of me. Something that big running at you full speed. I mean, you're fucked. It's game over. Plot doesn't matter. Characters, who gives a shit? Let's just get to the body count. And what does this movie give you? Blood and boobs. That's right. A lot of bloops in this. Eye candy, man. You get some eye candy. You get some cool hack and slash kills. And probably one of the best kills, in my opinion, in the Friday the 13th franchise. The fucking arrow through the cop's eye through the door. Are you fucking kidding me right now? I don't remember any kills in the Halloween movie, and I just watched it. This kill is fucking phenomenal. And I couldn't find a GIF. I'm like, are you serious? This was the only picture I could find. I'm like, dude, it's like the best kill in the movie. But yeah, this is fucking phenomenal, man. Fucking phenomenal. And I just enjoy the film. So is it would it be in my top 5 Jason movies? I don't know. My favorite will always be Part 6. But I just enjoyed it. It was fun. I wasn't bored. I wasn't looking at my watch saying, is this going to end? So that's just my reaction to it. I'm sure everybody else in the panel hates the movie. So let's go. DJ Anubis.
I fully expect a lot of haterade to come my way. So, just to put this out there, I'm not the biggest Friday the 13th fan as a franchise. I like Jason Voorhees.
Let me get the ban button here. I'm banning DJ Anubis right now. Click. I'm just kidding, man. Hey, it's all good, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, I like the character. I just the movies themselves, it's like even more hit or miss than Rob Zombie for me. Uh, I think Alexander Santos actually touched on it a little bit. I think part of it is the characters. Like you admitted that the characters really don't matter that much, and they don't.
No.
However, I kind of like with Halloween, even though those characters don't matter, I'm at least interested in them. Like there's something there I can like and be interested in the movie.
Copy that.
Outside of Jared Padalecki, I knew nobody in this film for Friday the 13th, and I was just like, I was bored to tears. I mean, it's Jason doing Jason. I've seen this story before, so I'm kind of asking myself, why are we even doing this movie? There's nothing new to here, and yeah, I hardly remember anything out of it. Even the kills that you mentioned, I was just like, I'm blanking there with that.
You don't even remember this kill, man? Oh no, not this one. Sorry, wrong one. Wrong clip.
Is it still
This one? This one.
Hmm.
You don't remember this one, bro?
No.
Wow. Especially what happens after that. All right, cool. Copy that. He hates it. Awesome. Alex.
What's interesting about this is it's almost the opposite experience I had with Halloween. When I first saw Halloween, I liked it. I didn't think it was great, but because it was a remake and because I knew what the concept was, my expectations were like subterranean. But over time, I guess I find more and more issues with Halloween as I rewatch it, and because I know a lot of Rob Zombie style, and we've all kind of said this, is it's very I don't want to say thoughtless, but it's just blunt and dirty, and it's a style, but a lot of it is unnecessary and gratuitous, and just kind of, if you're into that, that's cool, but there's not, to me, there's not a lot of thought behind it, like the origin of Michael Myers being just abusive family, you know. With Friday the 13th, first time I saw it, I did not like it at all, save for like one or two things. But upon revisiting, I actually started to see like little details and nuances that I appreciate, and seeing that, oh, there is actually some thought put into this, which I really wasn't expecting. But like my opinion on either film hasn't changed that much, but I just noticed that they kind of went like this. So like I don't know. The remake is, by the way, I love the series, by the way, if you just want to know where I'm coming from. It is nice to go back to basics after Jason X. As much fun as that movie was, it was nice to kind of go back to like, let's go back to the woods. Let's go back to, you know, Camp Crystal Lake and all that. And I'm a huge Mrs. Voorhees fan. And I understand why they had to fast track the first two movies, because they want to get to that iconic Jason, right? Because it's also for people who aren't really following the series, right? They just want to see what Jason's all about, and it's the latest movie, and it's, you know, that's part of why they do remakes. But I just didn't like that they did Mrs. Voorhees like that she was in it for like, I don't know, like a minute at the most. But I understand it's just something personal that like I would love to see like a Mrs. Voorhees trilogy personally.
Oh wow.
Yeah. The characters, don't give a shit about them. I guess the only character engagement I had was with Trent, because I really wanted to see him get killed 5 times over. And part of my disappointment was that I didn't see a very satisfying. I mean, not that the way he went out was pleasant, but I just thought he was so shitty that he was going to get like a glorious death. And for me, it was a bit disappointing. And but actually watching it again, I actually like the kills a lot more. And I know that you know you should. The characters are just there to be killed, so I got to have a little more fun with that. But kind of repeating what DJ Nubis was saying is like it's kind of pointless. Like at least Halloween, even if wasn't maybe not the right decision, tried to do a different kind of go in a different direction. Here it was kind of like, well, here's another mindless Friday the 13th Jason kills everyone movie. But I do appreciate that he runs, and that there's a little more sophistication in not just the killing but also the stalking elements. And I don't think he's ever like kidnapped anyone before. But in terms of like everything else, I think Jason is the best thing about the movie and the reason to watch the movie. But everything else I could give a shit about. Like the supernatural guy coming to save his sister. Like, I don't care, even though we spent the first 30 minutes like following her. Which, by the way, I will always laugh at that opening title. But also, one last thing that kind of, I don't know, makes me shake my head is the very last scene when he comes through the.
Yeah.
He comes to the. Yeah, it just I laughed so hard. Because I remember being horrified at the ending of the first one, and to me, it's just like, this is what it's come to. This, I think remakes should, if not do something better, do something different. And here it's just like, well, this is not even 0.001% as scary as like the original endings. When Jason comes out of the water.
Well, what made it a little bit comical was like he looks like he's passed out, like he's knocked out in the water, and it was just like 5 seconds. He grabbed his mask and swam back up real quick. In 5 seconds. That's what made it a little comical. So
yeah, it was definitely comical. But
all right, copy that. All right, but were you entertained, Alex? That's the question.
I was mildly entertained. I think some of the kills were cool, but it wasn't that memorable to me, at least. Yeah.
Copy that, Aaron.
Okay, let's say what I don't like about this one first. First off, I'm a huge Friday 13 fan, to the point when I was working with my school newspaper, I actually did a 13-page article on the Friday 13 films that came out to that period of time. All right, the soundtrack, again, not great with this one. I'm missing the Harry Manfredini, I'm missing that in the film. That really should have been in there. That I missed a lot. And the ending, too, I also thought I had issues with. Now, here's where I'm going to swerve and be very different than everybody else. I like the characters. I thought there were some interesting characters in this film. Not only do you have Gerard Pilecki, who, yes, everybody knows him from Supernatural, but Amanda Riget is in it, and I know her from The Mentalist, which I loved. And we got Daniel Panabaker from The Flash. And what's really, really good about this film is we get potentially 2 final girls, so that we don't know for sure till close to the end of the film that one of them's not going to make it out. We've seen like a lot of people make it out of Friday 13th films before. I think that the best cast in this film is the first 20 minutes. Those characters that we see at the beginning of the film that get cut off, and you at first think, okay, this is the cast we're going to follow. I thought they were good. I thought they were pretty engaging. They were funny. I didn't like the drug guy, the whoop ass, the kick ass guy. That guy was awesome. Was awful, but loved Derek Mears. Thought he was fantastic in the role. He brought it back to the Richard Brooker style of Jason. So the kind of the more physical, faster Jason that we got in we kind of got it in part 2, but we got it mostly in part 3. And that's kind of where you see him coming from, is Richard Brooker. The kills are really good in this. We get a really, really good annoying douchebag. And you need an annoying douchebag in one of these films. Now, I know a lot of people say, well, why didn't they do something different with the film? Why didn't they go in a different direction? Why make this like those other Friday the 13th films? Well, because anytime that Friday the 13th has moved away from the formula that works, it's a formula that works. That's why there are so many of them that did well. It sucks. Jason Goes to Hell sucks ass. Here's the controversial one: Freddy versus Jason, horrible film. Horrible.
Elizabeth,
I'm sorry.
Ban the hammer! Ban the hammer!
Monica Keena, awesome. Freddy versus Jason, a horrible Friday 13th film. If you go back and watch it as a Friday the 13th film, you're not going to like it as much because it's a Jason film that just happens to have. No, it's a Freddy film. Just happens to have Jason.
Jason 8, he turns into a baby at the end because he gets water gun on him.
This was
Come on now.
To what we hadn't seen in a long time. This was getting back to pure Friday the 13th. It was the stock and slash, but it was updating it. We got to see more about Jason. Jason wasn't just this character that kind of showed up. We got to see the tunnels. We got to see him kind of like to kidnap the girl, to do some different things. The kills were brutal as these should be in a Friday the 13th film. That's the one I was going to mention, actually. The axe
No.
kill is awesome.
Yeah.
And the sequence right after that, where they want to go out, and he's like, they want to help him and save him, and he's like, he's in pain, and his friends are there, and he want like, I gotta go out, and I gotta save him, and he can't do it. And they're not stupid either, because police do come. It's not like some of the other ones were like, I guess we'll do this all on our own. No, a police officer does come, but he gets taken out. So the complaint in a lot of these films are, well, why don't they call the police? Why don't they do something like that? You rarely see that unless you're watching like the 1983 movie Hell Night, which does a really good job of that as well. I'm a big slasher fan, if that if that doesn't come out. But they did a lot of stuff right here. A lot of stuff right. We got characters that are fun. We get the comedic characters are comedic in a way that's not overblown. Especially the two kind of like the stoner characters. And when he goes there and he's like, I think I've completed your ensemble. Love that. I thought that was fantastic. The guy was a douchebag, a huge douchebag, and you wanted to see him die. And eventually we do get to see him die. Maybe some people didn't think it was enough. The biggest complaint that some people had, and this one blows my mind, so I got to mention this one here, is I had people that said, that Friday the 13th movie, I can't believe it had so much nudity. Are you new? Have you not watched the Friday the 13th film before? Are you serious? Like, is there too much nudity in a Friday the 13th film? Did you see part 5? Are you kidding me? So for anybody that ever said, that movie has too many boobs in it, that is too much nudity,
There's no such thing.
you've never watched the Friday the 13th film. You just complained. I don't believe you. All right. That was a fantastic film. Go ahead.
All right. Copy that. Owen.
Yeah, I actually really enjoy this one. I think it captures the spirit of the Friday the 13th movies. It's got the right amount of humor and good kills. And sorry, is anyone else hearing a lot of like background noise? It sounds like I'm trying to speak over like a huge fan or something.
No.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I'm fine.
Because I can barely hear myself.
You're good, man.
Oh, okay. But one kill which nobody's mentioned, which is actually my favorite kill, is the girl in the sleeping bag over the fire at the beginning, which is like, it's so cruel but awesome, but also kind of a throwback to the earlier movies whenever Jason has the guy in the sleeping bag and like fucks him off the tree repeatedly, which is my favorite ever Jason kill.
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome. I like the fact that Jason is kind of smart in this one, where he holds the axe in the guy and he's trying to draw them out. And like he's actually fucking with them, and I like that he's using his brain, and he's not just there just to kill. He's got a brain behind him. Like Daniel Panabaker, I like Sam Winchester. I thought he was all right in it. I thought he was all right. What else? I don't know. I thought it was okay. I prefer it. It's got a sense of fun. It feels like the other movies. It's like where Halloween doesn't feel like the original Halloween movies, really. I thought this feels and captures the spirit, and like I said, lots of nudity, some good kills. So works for me.
And there were some throwback moments for fans too, Aaron, like him going through the window, crashing through the window, grabbing Jared. That was from part 2. There was little things here and there that was fun for fans. Nicholas.
For this one, yeah, in my opinion, it has a big thing over Halloween, which is it's fun. I mean, it's rewatchable. This Halloween is not rewatchable in my opinion at all. I didn't rewatch it for this, so but this is probably one of my favorite Jason movies. Honestly, probably part 6. And Freddy versus Jason too, because I mean I'm a Freddy guy over Jason. So, but yeah, then this one probably. Well, Freddy versus Jason is the number one just because it's a Freddy movie, and that's why I picked that. But yeah, I mean I don't know. You guys kind of said it all for this one. I mean it's just a basic slasher movie, and it has Jason in it, which is a very cool Jason, very different type of Jason. Yeah, I like that the how they explained like the teleport thing. Everyone's like, "Oh, Jason must teleport because he just like gets from here to here." But the whole underground tunnel thing, I thought that was interesting and a cool way to explain how he gets from here to here so fast. Yeah, I thought it was a realistic take on Jason. So yeah, I liked it.
All right, copy that. Tony. Hold on, Tony. Hold on, Tony. Really quick. Does anybody know why this did not get a sequel? Because whether you loved it or you hated it, it was a hit when it came out. It did very well, and no sequel. Does
How long
anyone
has the
know?
lawsuit been going on?
Oh, is that what happened? Oh shit.
No,
I heard they were gonna. I heard the sequel. They were thinking about making it a found footage too.
Ugh.
There was a couple different sequels that were in the works. There was a 3D one. There's a found footage one. It did really good at the beginning. The drop off was really quick, and there was a really substantial drop off for Friday 13th. Unfortunately, when it came out, I remember like how fantastic. Oh, look how great it's doing this week. And within a week or two, it had dropped off a lot, and that had probably slowed it down. And Sean Cunningham is not exactly a huge fan of his movies or Jason, even though he wants to keep everybody else from making them. So,
Okay.
Well, then he shouldn't accept the
lawsuit.
checks.
I know.
Yeah,
right?
really.
Go ahead, Tony.
Really?
I saw this in the theater, and I was looking forward to it back then. Same thing with Freddy vs. Jason. I saw that in the theater twice in the same day, and I love that one as well. But as far as remakes go, I think this is one of the better ones. I'm also more of a Jason fan over Michael Myers, but I still like Michael Myers. I like Michael Myers more than his movies that he's, Jason, this is like fast zombies. Like, at least if a zombie is slow, I have a chance. If they're running at me, I'm fucked. Jason's running at me, I'm fucked. I'm probably fucked either way, but Jason running is pretty scary, especially a big dude like that. I like being thrown off by the original cast in the beginning, because when you first see it, it's like, oh, that's an likable cast. They're funny. The one guy is from Superstore in here, which Superstore didn't exist at the time, but now rewatching it again for today, I was like, I forgot he was in this, and it was like such a different character. Like, he's cursing, like when he's like looking at the girl and she's like touching herself, and he's like, I'm gonna fuck you. Like that. It was funny. And then the other guy's like, he's like, just get out of here with your stupid shit already. He's like, oh, I'm just gonna go. And then, I felt bad for those characters because I liked them a lot. And plus, that guy from Superstore, not only did he have a bear trap on his leg, but then he has that axe in the head, which was an awesome kill. And the girl roasting alive, like it was just such a brutal, like, first cast. And it's like, oh shit. And as far as him kidnapping the girl, being that this Jason, I think, is more intelligent, I think maybe he is keeping her to, breed for all you know. I mean, Jason's got to get some. Who knows? He's in the woods all by himself with his mother's fucking head. The bitch is getting old looking, but he's and the underground shit. That's pretty cool. Daniel Panabaker was a big shock that she dies like that.
Yes.
That was like, I was like, no, what? And of course, I knew her from at first. Because I don't think the Flash was on in 2009, right? No. See, I knew her from Sky High, and I was like, oh, I like her. And then she gets killed. And it's like, oh shit. And I might be the only person that has seen the Winchester in this before actually watching Supernatural. Because when I watched Supernatural, I was like, oh, that's the guy from Friday the 13th. I didn't know. But after a while, I did stop caring that he's looking for his sister, to be honest. Like, it was just like, I'm looking for my sister. I'm looking for my sister. And I like the douchebag in it. I think, not like he's a likable guy, but like, he's playing a douchebag. You hate him. You want him to die. He played a good part. But he was also kind of funny, where they were like, he's like, are we going to be friends now? Is that what you want? He's like, yeah, is that it? And like, you think that they're going to like kind of like joke around and be friends actually. And then he's just not. He's like a douchebag like the whole time. He's just so funny. And then he ends up having sex with that girl who, in my opinion, is the second best pair of boobs in the entire franchise. Number one is Deborah Voorhees to me. Yeah, thank you. I also, my favorite character in here though is Chewie. I think he's very likable. I would love to party with him. I would not want to drink out of his sneaker though. But it's just so it was just like a fun bunch, group of people, and I felt genuinely bad when he got killed. Chewie probably the most, but I enjoy this every time I watch it. I've watched it a few times. I don't know what my favorite kill would be though. I think they're all pretty neat. I do think the douchebag what's his name? Trent. I was gonna say Chad. Trent. I think he
Same
should have
thing.
had a better death, but it was still nice to see. And it's a shocker to see that the sister is still alive and all that shit. But yeah, I enjoy it. I still like it watching it nowadays. And again, rewatching it now, there was stuff I forgot. So, and yeah, I enjoyed watching it again.
Wasn't Dean Winchester? Wasn't he in another horror remake himself?
My Bloody
My Bloody Valentine.
That's funny.
Mm.
Oh, and what Aaron said, where you don't hear the you actually do really quick when he first finds his mask.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's like very quiet, but like he pulls that back, goes. It's like kind of like, ooh, here we go. We got the mask on. Which I also one of my favorites is part 2. So I like also that he has the cloth around his face, and then they transfer it over to the mask. That's pretty cool.
All right, copy that.
That's it.
Eric.
Yeah, I'm probably a little bit more lenient on this one. I think the Halloween franchise, like the best Halloween film has been made. But Friday the 13th, its reliance on violence obviously was stilted by the frickin' MPAA for most of its history. And, I really feel like the best Friday the 13th movie still has not been made yet. I mean, I want something with copious amounts of atmosphere and just horrendous violence in it. And if somebody would hire Panos Cosmatos to direct a Friday the 13th film, I think we would get that. The director of Mandy and Beyond the Black Rainbow. But I think that's probably why I'm a little
kind of wild.
Yeah, but this one, it's pretty good, I think. I think, again, it really is carried by its violence and its death scenes, which I think do deliver. The axe scene, really solid. There's a number of good death scenes in this, which I can appreciate. Like Aaron said, I think the score kind of hurts it a little bit. It just hit, there's something I'm trying to like pinpoint. There's something that the earlier films had that this does not. And I think the score is one element. And I would like to see a little bit more focus on like atmosphere. I think the lighting's maybe a little bit too restricted by realism. I'd like to see them open that up a little bit. But actually, one humorous element to this, you could interpret the film in some ways as Jason protecting his stash of marijuana, which is quite amusing.
No.
And Richard Burgi is in this. No one's mentioned my boy, Richard Burgi, who was in the Sentinel, the sci-fi series from back in the day. I think he was also in one of the Hostel films. I always like seeing him in movies. I kind of wish he had more screen time in this. He played the cop in this. But, yeah, it would have been nice if he got more screen time. Characters, I understand the genre tropes. It's one genre trope I've never really understood that much. I would prefer if the characters were just a little bit more likable, but that's just me. And, yeah, I think it's just overall, it's just a pretty good slasher flick. The ending again is dodgy, like you guys have said. I agree with that. But overall, if you compare it to like the average slasher flick, I think it delivers enough to be satisfying.
All right, copy that. Let's see here. You know what's funny? Before we vote, we do our vote action here. What's funny is somebody sent me a message and said, I love Myers and Halloween way more than the Friday 13th movies. I was like, oh, cool, that's awesome. And then the person says, the reason why, and he says, I love the Myers movies, all of them, because they stay serious till the end. Unlike the Friday the 13th movies that go kind of goofy. And I was just like, have you seen Halloween Resurrection?
Halloween 5 with the goofy the goofy cops who show up.
Yeah.
with Busta Rhymes wearing the Myers mask. Talking to Myers. It's fucking hilarious. So I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know if that's a good defense that all of them remain serious till the end. But to each his own. All right, time to vote. All right, DJ Anubis. The Fog.
We don't want to go there with that one. I like both horror icons a lot. Ironically, Jason X and Freddy versus Jason are my favorite of the entire series, and just because they do something different. The problem here is, while Aaron and Tony and the rest of them made some good points about the Friday the 13th, 2009, I still think it's just so much run by the numbers that it's so forgettable for me. I can't remember hardly anything from it. And while neither movie is like a barn burner, I at least give credit to Zombie for trying something different and approaching it differently. And it maybe not hit on all cylinders, but he was trying to do something. And that sometimes goes a long way with me when I watch modern horror movies. Neither one of these are going to be my top 10 at any point in my life, so it won't matter. But as far as these two are concerned, Halloween is my pick.
All right, copy that. He's sticking to his guns. I like it. Alex.
Yeah, this was a tough one, but also part of why it was so much fun and why I wanted to hop in on this one, because it's like, oh, piss and shit. Like, which one do I pick? I'm going to have to go with Halloween, despite the fact that I've said that, over time, my opinion of Halloween lowers and my opinion of Friday the 13th rises. Part of it is because I like the underdog, especially in this case, but also part of it is like when I'm watching either movie, like in terms of like the viscera and in terms of how much I get into it, I enjoyed some of the kills and I enjoyed the thought put into a lot of the decisions in Friday the 13th and how it, talking about formulas that work, how it just goes back to basics and just aims to do it really well and not tries to be overcomplicated. I just think about certain scenes in Halloween that I really like watching, like seeing the kind of cam footage of a young Michael Myers, like with the mask on in the institution, with Michael McDowell's voiceover talking about like his transformation and kind of that atmosphere that I get from it, and even like the rest of the cast, even if Ken Foree was only in it for like the blink of an eye, his charisma and just his character, like just little moments like that for me were more enjoyable. Rather than kind of the run-of-the-mills nudity and kills, which I appreciate. But I think it's just I love slashers, but I guess when I watched it, and even when I rewatched it, Friday the 13th remake just made me wish I was watching the originals, as goofy as they are as well. And I too love Freddy versus Jason and Jason X. But when I think of a slasher that blows me with its kills, I think of like I don't know who here has seen it, but I think it's called Stitches, where it's a clown.
Stitches, yeah.
That movie has like just insane kills, and I absolutely loved it. So
there you go.
It just makes me think of stuff like that. So I'm gonna have to go with Halloween just from an enjoyment factor.
All right.
I think that's on Shudder now too.
Stitches is pretty funny.
Awesome.
It's pretty funny. Aaron.
I know you're going to be super surprised with my choice.
Ooh,
all
suspense.
Right. No, you won't be. Actually, Halloween by Rob Zombie is I'm going to be honest, it's a badly written film. It's overall got a fantastic cast of people that are miscast in this movie. Ken Foree is wasted in a throwaway scene, which don't even get me started with Weird Al in part 2. But for part 1 alone, the pace is horrible. The acting's bad with the kid. Like right from the beginning with the "I'm not listening" type thing, I wanted to tune out right there. And then you get downstairs with the "I'm going to skull fuck you bitch" type thing, and I'm like, you know what? None of these people at all I like. I don't care about anybody. I don't like them. The most likable character in this entire film isn't even Dr. Loomis. You know who it is? It's the mom, until she kills herself. And then I got no one at all. Like, I felt sorry for the mom. But I didn't like anybody in this movie, and it just felt dirty. Like, and not in the good way. It just felt like I just wanted to... Oh, and it felt so bad. I felt so bad watching this film as a Halloween fan. It is not a Halloween movie. It's a movie, and people will always say, well, this would be people would like this better if it wasn't called Halloween. Would you really, though? Like, because that kid's still a 9. It's still going to end the same way. And it's still going to get that sequel that it had. So does it work even if it's not Halloween? And for me, and this was a test for me, no, it doesn't, because the score's still bad. The scenes are still laughably done. The Love Hurts thing is one of those things that'll go down as being one of those laughable memes. So it'll be down there in the years to come, like, oh man, oh God, remember that? So it's going to be like that. It's going to be like one of those. It's badly done. Here's a guy that can direct stuff. Not always great, and he always goes a little bit overboard. Devil's Rejects, Lord of Salem, that's his best work. That's the best stuff that he's done. But I feel like he's been chasing the Texas Chainsaw like thing in every single film. I understand. He's a carny. He grew up that way. But you got to have likable characters. You got to have people that you can invest in. You got to have somebody that you can like. And as you know, as cookie cutter as some of the characters can be in Friday the 13th, they're fun. They're cool. When the guy gets hit with the axe, you feel bad for him. Richard Burgi, I'm glad you mentioned him because he is fantastic. What's really cool, if you ever watch the video for King of Wishful Thinking, the music video, just a slide aside, the lead singer looks just like Richard Burgi at that point. Check it out. But loved the way that Friday was done. I thought it was really underrated. I thought that people really undersold it as a film. People look at slasher films a lot and they'll say, okay, this is a slasher film. It's easy to do. I grew up like in the 80s. I watched the slasher films as they were going through. Trust me, there's a lot of bad slasher films. It's not easy to do. It looks like it's a simple formula, but there's so many bad, boring, pedestrian ones. This does get it right in all the right places that it should. And I feel like that this would have been really successful as a sequel or as even like kind of a prequel done 10 years before. But it came out at a time when I think wasn't the best time for this movie. But it's an easy vote to choose Friday the 13th because it is competently directed by Marcus Nispel and Rob Zombie. Loved you with Lords of Salem. Hated your direction with this.
All right. Copy that. Before we go to Owen, before I forget, we do have a guest vid vote. Master Chaos.
Hey, you're from the neighborhood, Master Chaos here. I'm sorry I can't be with you guys on tonight's Versus, but Fat Samurai Guy says send in a video, so here I am sending in that video. This is one hell of a Versus, but one that honestly is an easy one for me. I hate Rob Zombie's vision of Michael Myers. I really dislike what he did with the character, so 100% my vote goes for the Friday the 13th remake. I thought it was really great. Combined the first 3 movies and gave us what we wanted. Michael Myers, killing people in the woods, naked girls. I like it. It's perfect. I don't know why anybody would complain because it's exactly what we want from a Jason movie. Perfect. Of course, you look at the Rob Zombie Halloween and it's just a mess. It's just a whole bunch of his white trash garbage. I'm so scared for what he's going to do with the monsters. I'm so friggin' scared. He's going to ruin that IP, and it's going to be another 20 years before we can get the monsters back. It's unfortunate. Anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the remakes. My vote is Friday the 13th. And I hope to be back on Versus real soon. I'm busy with some movie projects and things like that. Currently out and about trying to get a PS5. I'm having a ton of fun adventures over on my channel. So go check me out if you get a chance. I do appreciate that if we have not had a chance to hang out before. And Fat Samurai Guy, thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of tonight's Versus. I love everybody on the panel. I don't know who's there, but I love them. Take care, everybody.
Shout out to Master Chaos there, man.
Michael
Love
Myers
that
was
guy.
in Friday 13th.
Yeah, I heard that too.
I think he little goof there.
I like how
Voorhees
he
in the
also
woods,
said
yeah.
about the white trash. That made me laugh too. I was like, wow, I never really thought of that before, but they really are white trash.
Chaos
That's
is
funny.
comedy. So there you go. Chaos's vote. All right, Owen, go for it.
Yeah, well, for me, it's easy. It's Friday the 13th. I hate pretty much everything about Rob Zombie's vision of Halloween. I hate what they did with it, particularly when, like, I love Michael Myers and the original Halloween. I've watched it like 1,000 times. I watch it every year. So, yeah, Friday the 13th is just a fun old school slasher flick. It doesn't do anything new. Who cares? I don't want it to do anything new. It's like a warm hug with a machete. So yeah, Friday all the way.
All right, Nicholas.
Yeah, as a series, I think I would pick Halloween over Friday the 13th. But when it comes to these two movies, Friday, period. It wins easily, in my opinion. Like, I'm thinking about it. Which movie would I rather watch right now? Friday the 13th.
All right, copy that. Tony. Oh, nice fake out. Nice fake out. Very nice, my friend. Very nice. All right, Eric.
Friday the 13th.
All right.
Just because.
Just because. And Samurai Guy, well, Jason's got a motherfucking bow and arrow.
I'm just glad that Alex had my back. That's all I'm going to say right now. Okay?
That's the only reason why I picked it.
Oh, no.
I'm like, I can't leave him in the dust.
Mr. Anubis and Alex. Oh, no. You were not alone, my friend. It's time for the internet poll. Check this out.
Yeah, baby.
Wow.
Yeah, baby.
The internet's telling me
close. Right there.
Look at that. Now, thoughts on why the internet poll was so high? What do you guys think? Because Halloween Kills is hot right now, or people legitimately like this version? What do you think?
I think it's because it's part 1 and not part 2.
Honestly, I think it's because I read a lot on social media, and Rob Zombie takes a lot of heat and a lot of hatred. Mm-hmm. So I think some people would just come out of the woodwork to kind of throw him a bone. I mean, I do think it's a better film of the two, but
yeah. But yeah, this is interesting. This is why we do the internet poll as well. So it's kind
of Rob and Sherry voting for themselves and just clicking refreshing
the page. Oh man. Well, this was a blast. This was a lot of fun hanging out with all of these awesome badasses. All of their information is in the description box below, baby. Y'all know what you need to do. You're going to subscribe. You're going to follow. That's right, the Metal Tavern podcast, son. It is the podcast of badassity. That's right. Keep an eye out for Alex Chung's movie projects coming out in the future. He is a badass martial artist. He can kill all of us in 5 seconds. That's right. He's a hardcore stunt man. You can set him on fire. He'll walk through it. All right. Aaron, the Cult of Cinema. Subscribe. Follow the Action Elite.
I'm doing a live video tonight.
There you go.
For Vinegar Syndrome.
He's got great horror ranking tiers. Check those out.
There you go.
Sure.
Join that tonight. Yeah, watch that. Fun. And follow the Action Elite, Owen. That's right. Keep an eye out for Nicholas' future projects, especially Mr. Tony of the Dead's future films coming out. And, of course, October month is also going to be horror month on Eric, the Asian Movie Enthusiast's channel. So if you want to see horror films from other countries and be like, oh, shit, it's going down over there, y'all need to watch. That's right. And if you want to hang out with the Samurai Guy tomorrow, all you video game fans and movie fans, hang out with Samurai tomorrow with Radical Reggie. He's going to be hanging out with the Samurai Guy at 6 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow. So hang out. We're going to have a lot of fun talking video games and how much I suck at them. And once I start doing Let's Plays, it's going to be torture porn for a lot of people. Everybody's going to tune in and see constantly me dying over and over and over again, right? But yeah, always awesome to have these guys on the panel, and always awesome to have you guys watch and hang out with us and talking horror and discussing and having fun. Keep watching horror movies, baby. That's right, represent. Keep enjoying horror films and the genre. And we'll see all you badasses next time. Take care, guys. Panel members, don't go anywhere yet before I let you go. Take care, guys.